The SJ4000 Wi-Fi is an amazing video camera, and one thing I really love about it is its ability to do time-lapse. So in this little video I'm going to be showing you how to create your own time-lapses and then edit them. So the SJ4000, as we already know, takes great looking HD video. But to kind of mix things up a bit, it can also take stills. Not only can it take stills, but it can also take time-lapse stills. So what that means is it has a little timer inside, so when you set it up in the right way, when you started taking a photograph, it'll then keep taking a photograph sort of every 3 seconds. Until you turn it off. And what that means is we can then take all those photographs and then import them into a program like Google's free Picasa, which is the program I'm going to be using in this video. And that program will then kind of squash all those photos together to make a movie. And in the movie, it will look like time has speeded up, because for every one photo we've taken, the editing program will take 24 of those to make 1 second of time-lapse video. And so things like clouds zoom across the scene on a windy day. You see shadows moving across as the sun moves over. You could have there's all sorts of different things you can use time-lapse for, but it's very, very simple. So especially if you're like a photographer who does other stuff, or a videographer, you can set this camera up in the corner of a room or at a scene, just let it doing its thing, taking a time lapse, and then you can use that by itself, or use it the way that I've started to use it a lot more, as kind of a bit like kind of B-roll, as filler for your videos to make them look interesting. So anyway, that's enough of me talking. Let's turn the camera around so I can show you the settings you put into the SJ4000 Wi-Fi from SJCAM, so you can get it taking nice looking time lapses. Okay, so here you can see my SJCAM SJ4000. Forgive me for having the laptop in the background, but I need it for my notes so I don't miss anything out. As you can see, the most critical thing, and one of the most critical things if you want to do time-lapse, is you're going to need a tripod. Here we've got my little Gorilla Pod. This is the Gorilla Pod SLR, I think. You can use one of the smaller ones. It's a nice adaptable tripod that's great on all sorts of surfaces. So you can use it on flat surfaces. You can tie the GoPro, the SJ4000, to a fence, to a tree, all that sort of stuff, because you can bend the legs around, and it really is very useful and worth the money. And as you can see, I've screwed one of the tripod mounts to the top of the Gorilla Pod, and then the SJ goes on top of it like that. So let's just take this off, so for ease of use, to show you what's going on. First things first, we want to be in the stills mode when we start. So if we press the mode button, which is on the front, we can get into the stills mode, which is that one. Now I'm already set up for doing time-lapse, so you might be able to see on there's a little timer that says 3. I'm at 2 megapixels, and I'm in the automatic white balance mode as well. So in order to get into these settings, what you want to do is, again, press the button on the front, go press the review stage, and here we go. And then we use the buttons on the side just to cycle through so you can see what's going on. So let's start off. So the first one we want to go into, so these are the settings. We want to go into HDR and just turn that on so we get nice dynamic range in our photos. So let me just refocus. That's better. And what we want to do is we want to go down to capture mode, and we want to change that to 3-second timer, and that will enable us to, if we use 3 seconds, if we shoot for about 5 minutes, that will give you about 4 seconds of time-lapse video. Or if you want to go up to 10 minutes, that will give you about 8 seconds. So we'll select that one. Image size. Now you don't need to go any difference to 2 megapixels like you see here, 2 MHD 1920 by 1080, because that's the native resolution of the sensor on this little camera. There's no point going any higher. You just have exactly the same images, but they'll just be bigger. Quality, we want fine. Sharpness, normal. White balance, auto, and that's it really. And you pretty much get good to go. Then what you can do is you press the button on the front. That's the video mode. We come out of that into the stills mode, and then if we start taking a picture, again we will put the SJ4000 on a tripod. You see it'll start, and then it keeps on going. And it's going to keep on taking photographs until we tell it to stop by pressing the shutter button. If the back rear screen's gone to sleep, you know, sometimes you have to press it twice to stop it. There we go, stop now. Nice, there we go. Stopped it by pressing the front button. And there we go, and that's it really. Dead simple. A few little sort of guidelines. Make sure when you're setting up your SJ4000 on its little tripod that you get everything nice and level. Get plenty of sky into the screen as well, because it tends to be clouds moving that kind of make things dynamic, or if there's like, I don't know, ships or cars, all that sort of stuff, slow moving things that when you shoot them as a time lapse suddenly speed up, are always really good fun. So once you've taken your time lapse, you know, go out and do a few. You know, all you got to do is set it up and get it shooting for 5 minutes, and move it around, do something else. You're ready to take those files off the SD card and put them into your computer, which I'll show you next in Picasa. Okay, so here's Picasa. I've just put my SD card into my computer. It's going to detect the fact that I've got these photos on the card. Now, I've already imported all these photos, but what you would do at this point in Picasa is you would put the folder title in, I don't know, put the year with the date backwards or something like that, and then import them in. But I've already done that. In fact, what I should have mentioned, the fact that if you want to get Picasa, just do a Google search, Picasa, Picasa, and you get a free download. It's a great free tool for editing and organising your photos. In fact, I tend to use Picasa to import all my photos and then onto my computer, and then I use Lightroom and Photoshop as well. So we could import them like this, or if you wanted to, you could you know, go into your computer, and if we go to this PC and then just go to with the SD card where it is, go to the DCAM, go to the photos, and then the photos would all be there to copy over to your thing. But anyway, so let's just cancel that because I've already imported them already, and let's look at the library. So this is a time lapse here of Fort Broadcast. It's a nice little short one, so it's a good one to play around with. Now at this point I could just select all of these, just click the first one and then go to the end of the time lapse sequence, shift click the last one, and see it's imported them down here bottom left into the tray. But then you just go on this little button here, it says create video clip presentation, and then it put them all together, and down the side you can see the transition style. It's going to be a time lapse. If you ever want to play around Picasa, there's loads of different ways you can put different photos together. It's going to be a time lapse. The slide duration is 1/24 of a second. Dimension 1920 by 1080. And then what we can do is, as a kind of a preview, you can just kind of play it, and then depending on the speed of your PC, your laptop, you see it kind of play through. And at that point we could create the video, but we're not going to. Let's go back to the library because I just want to show you something else first. One thing you can do, which is quite powerful, if we sort of click somewhere to deselect them, let's select this first photo and have a look at it. It's quite a bit wonky, that one. So let's just select this one, and then let's just get rid of. So this is the kind of the file as it came out of the camera. It's a little bit blue, like most shots from the SJ4000 are. So I'm just going to put auto color on it, and I'm going to put auto contrast as well. Now I might actually think, I don't particularly, you know, that looks good, but I want more of an effect. What I could do is if I go into some fun things. Let's see what we've got here. Let's make a Lomo-ish time lapse. Actually, no, we don't like that one. Let's go Holgrish. Let's do a black and white time lapse. So I just apply all the changes I want to do in the editing panels to the one particular photo. Then I go back to the library. And all I do then is just select the photo that's got the changes. You go up to the top left hand corner, you say edit, copy all effects, and then we select the next photo, and then go down to the bottom of the sequence, shift click that one, and then we go to edit, paste all effects, and then after a couple of seconds, So as you can see, it's applied the changes to all the photographs. So now let's select them all. So starting with that one, select, just click on that one, come down to the bottom of the sequence, shift click that one, create a video clip. It's a time lapse again. We've made sure that's right. 24th second, and let's play it. Now we've got should have a black and white time lapse with the skies boiling over. How cool is that? And then what we now do is now click on create video, and it's going to render the video. Okay, so now it's now made the movie, so we can hit the play and it'll be nice and smooth when it goes through. Black and white time lapse, nice and cool. And then what we can now do is we can upload it to YouTube, or we can export the clip, and that will then create a WMV file. I think it creates 1080p one, which we can then use in another piece of software, which I will show you how to do next and when we go into Adobe Premiere. Okay, so fire up Premiere Pro. First off, let's just locate the file. Picasa tends to save them in, if you go to Pictures on your computer, and then go to Picasa, and then go to Videos. Here we go. So here's all the time-lapse photos I've been doing. So in Premiere Pro, if you're familiar with it, really great piece of software, dead easy to use once you get to know it. And all we can do is we can take the time-lapse we've done before, drag it over, put it into the project bin, and then we can slide it over onto the timeline. He said, slide it over onto the timeline, zoom in a little bit, and then we can move our head along, and then we can press C, try to zoom in a little bit more, V back, and what we want to do is we just want to chop off that title, so just hit C to get the cut button, V to get the pointer back, get rid of that, and then we've got our nice little time lapse. And so you can then put that in with your video, you know, what else you've done, slide it in over your titles, and it really is as simple as that. So there you go, the SJ4000, great little camera for taking video, but also really good for doing simple, easy little time lapses that can add that little bit of spice to your video and your still work, to be honest. It's fast, it's cheap, it's easy, and as you can see, you can do them in no time at all. My name's Rob from RobAndPhoto.com. If you like the video, please subscribe, put any questions in the comments down below, and I'll see you again soon.